Hello and welcome back to the Patio C channel. And today on the show, I have a very interesting topic. Now, today we're going to be talking about the Essendon Bombers, who obviously had a very rough season last year, and we're going to talk about how they can improve this year. But before that, we must go through the events of last year and what created this mess, pretty much. So starting off with the Ben Rutten mess, which basically how this unfoiled is Alistair Clarkson came on the market and they were looking for a more experienced coach. Now, I don't think Ben Rutten was aware of this either. And then Alistair Clarkson was initially their plan A, and they didn't have a plan B pretty much. They went all in on Alistair Clarkson. And then North Melbourne ended up luring him to their club, basically. So Essendon missed out on Alistair Clarkson, and they now had no plan B, and they had to sack Ben Rutten because I don't think he did state that he was happy to stay there, but it wouldn't have been a good relationship between the board and the coach. Obviously, they weren't planning on keeping him when they were in negotiations with Alistair Clarkson, and so they ended up sacking him. But they did, in my opinion, get a good replacement as coach, but we'll go into that later. Now, after that, their CEO resigned, and I think their president did as well. Now, their new CEO that they signed was Andrew Thorburn, who resigned after a day in service. Obviously, he had links to a controversial church, which I won't dive into any deeper. And then after that, I think they recruited Craig Vozzo as the new CEO, who between 2013 and 21, he was the general manager of football at the Eagles, with the Eagles obviously winning a premiership in 2018. And in 2021, Vozzo moved roles at West Coast, becoming the club's senior corporate counsel. Essendon president David Barham said Vozzo had a proven track record in delivering on-field results. Dave Barham obviously being the new president. I think that's true. Obviously, if you're a general manager of a football club that made 2 grand finals and won a premiership, you're probably going to do your job pretty well. Obviously, this is a different role to general manager, but I think if you can have a good relationship with your players as well as the board and coaches as CEO, it's very important. Now, moving on to why the coaching panel, in my opinion, was smart. Now, James Hird would not have been a good coach because we did not really see him coach a team that wasn't taking performance-enhancing drugs, pretty much. So he couldn't really be considered a developed prospect if he hasn't really coached a real team yet that actually was getting injured. Obviously, the drugs didn't work in the second half of the season, and their team just collapsed. So that says a lot about his coaching role and how developed he was at the time. Obviously, he's changed now, but I think Brad Scott would have been a great option because he does have great experience, which is what they were looking for. Especially in the head coach role, leading an average Kangaroos team to 2 prelims in a row, plus beating the Cats by 6 points in the 2014 semi-final. And also Dave Barham, their new president. He is a multi-award winning sports media executive and board director, which probably says it all really, and is known for his innovating skills to set industry standards, advance negotiation skills, and leading teams to deliver commercially and critically successful major events and large-scale projects. Now, this is going to be a massive project for the Bombers. Obviously, they've got a lot of work to do this year, and what they can do to play better this year, I think Peter Wright is going to play a key role in that. Obviously, had a great start to the season last year, unlike his team. If they can get the ball to him more as well through the midfield, which would involve Zach Merritt, probably a Jai Cardwell, Dylan Shield bouncing back, maybe Darcy Parish, maybe even Andy McGrath now and then, getting the ball inside 50 from the centre bounce, and obviously probably coming back from defence as well. Rebounding from defence is a big one, which would also be Andy McGrath and a few others. Now also, other than Peter Wright, they don't seem to have many, let's say, developed young forwards. I think Peter Wright you'd almost consider developed at this point. I think he's played almost 5 or 6 years in the league, so he is developed. Obviously, had a great season last year, even though his team was playing pretty poorly. Obviously, Sam Draper in the ruck, he'll be a key role in this as well. I think they just need to get territory really and start getting some more clearances from the middle, and convert the set shots, because obviously if they're versing better teams in the top 8, they're going to need to at least get the ball inside 50 from the middle and do it quickly so that they can take good defences by surprise. Obviously, Peter Wright will win a 1v1 more often than not, but if they can get him on the lead, that's just as good. So this has been my video about Essendon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode on the Paddy OC channel.